Hey folks, welcome to week 9 of User Experience and Interface Design. This is DMD 120. How is everybody? So we are officially back online. This is the week of the 23rd, Monday, March 23rd. So this week back online has been designated as a preparatory week. So we will not have anything due this week, no deadlines, nothing to be uploaded. However, we do have some stuff to work on and to start thinking about and consuming and writing. So we'll do some preparatory work today. Okay, so where are we at with week 9? So if we are to look at our syllabus, which of course is available on Canvas under syllabus, you'll see here in week 9, again, March 23rd, 25th, and 27th is the days we would normally have met in person. So we are launching Project 2. We finished up Project 1, which went really well. You guys did a great job on that. And so now we're going to launch into our second project, which I briefly introduced before we went on break, but we're going to go over it again here for those who might have missed it, and also just to make sure we're on the same page. So we'll get back to the syllabus in a moment. Let's take a look at Project 2. Now again, Project 2, which is this handout here, can be found on Canvas under Files, and then under Projects. You can see here there's Project 2. And there's a bunch of stuff in here, but specifically we're going to look at this instructional website PDF right now, which is this here. Okay, so what are we doing for Project 2? So we are going to make, as the name says here, an instructional website. So this is all about DIY culture, do-it-yourself culture. So as you can read here, learning how things work and DIY culture is a mainstay of modern society. Whether you're rejecting consumerism, are naturally autodidactic, or just making and doing stuff yourself, there are endless guides and articles on the web that can help you achieve a certain level of self-sufficiency in a variety of different areas. Maybe you're into DIY stuff, possibly. So for this project, we are going to make an instructional website that is going to teach a newbie, a newcomer, how to do something that you consider yourself to be an expert in, or at least are really proficient in. We're all good at something, and I know you guys are good at lots of things. So you're going to pick one thing that you enjoy doing, that you are an expert in, or feel that you are good at, and we're going to make a step-by-step website about it. Now, there must be a minimum of 10 steps that we are going to document and put together into this website. So it can't be anything super simple, like making ice, for example, would be way too easy. So something that's a little complicated, but not too complicated. Something you can do in about 10 steps. Okay, so you'll see here that the project is broken down into 3 sections: prep steps or preparatory steps, design steps, of which there are 5, and then there's some design notes at the bottom, as well as the specs for the project here, which is the size of the site, what deliverables we're actually turning in. There are 5 total deliverables, and this is our last major project for the semester, so it lasts from now all the way through the end. So it's a pretty big project, lots to do. You should certainly research some other do-it-yourself instructional websites, as well as books and articles. There are a ton of them on the web. You might partake in some of them. Obviously, YouTube has a ton of DIY videos, but there are also websites devoted to all sorts of DIY stuff. Okay, so now what are we doing this week in week 9? Well, this week in week 9, since we are not having anything due, we are just sort of preparing the preparatory steps here. So we're going to start working on these 3 steps here this week. Now, if you were in the class before spring break, you might have already started thinking about this. But if not, you can do it now. This week was already set aside to be doing this anyway. As you can see here in the syllabus, week 9, we were pretty much handling all of the prep steps this week, and you'll see that there's nothing actually due anyway. So it sort of worked out serendipitously. Okay, so what are your prep steps? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to decide what you would like to teach someone. Think about what you enjoy doing, what are your hobbies, what are your interests, and put some thought into what it is you would like to build this website about. It should be something that you enjoy doing, that you're good at, because we are going to be working on it for a number of weeks, so you want to maintain interest in it. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to write out 10 clear and descriptive steps that will guide someone through the tasks to successful completion of whatever it is you are trying to teach them. So as far as writing the 10 steps, you're going to simply open up a Word document like this, put your name, put the course code and name of the class, the name of the project, which is Project 2 Instructional Website. In a very brief sentence, tell us what you're going to teach us, right? And then start writing out your steps. 10 clear steps. Now, 10 is a minimum. You could, of course, do more than 10 steps if you would like, but we don't want to make it super complicated. That being said, each step should be short enough, 1 to 3 sentences, that it's easy enough to follow in a step-by-step fashion. Now, the idea of writing 10 clear steps is actually much more difficult than it sounds, because it involves very clear use of language, economy of words, being really careful about what you say, not assuming that people know things when they don't know things, which is one of the more difficult things about teaching in general. So definitely it's going to take some time to write and rewrite these 10 steps. So this is something you can work on this week. Once you've got your 10 steps that you feel you are comfortable with, you are then going to show a draft of your steps to at least 3 people to test if they can follow along just from reading them. So this is like super simple user testing. We've done user testing before with wireframes. We'll be doing that again with this project, but this is just show somebody the 10 steps. You can email it to them, message it to them, show people who you are spending time in your home with, and just say, hey, could you read through these 10 steps and see if it makes sense to you? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask you to do? If people get a clear idea of what you are trying to teach them simply from reading your steps, well, then you are in good shape. If they are confused by certain steps, if they don't understand what certain words mean, if they are just generally kind of fuzzy on the whole process, then you're going to take their questions and concerns into account and go back to your Word document and rewrite them. And you might have to do this a couple of times until you're really happy with the way the 10 steps are written. Pre-planning and writing out content for websites is a big part of web design. Written content has to be really well thought about, and while oftentimes in web design there are copywriters who focus on these things, in smaller venues you might be the one writing the content, and certainly here in class you are the one writing the content. So take some time to really make sure they are clearly written and well understood by your tester people. Okay, so that's part 2 of the prep steps that we'll be doing this week. And then part 3, once you are happy with your 10 steps and those are done and in the can, you are going to create and or collect any imagery, such as photographs, illustrations, diagrams, or graphics that you will need to enhance the experience and make the teaching of it more clear and enjoyable. So let's say you're teaching somebody a recipe, how to cook something. Maybe you want to actually go ahead, particularly now since we're home, and cook that recipe and take photographs, or have someone take photographs as you are preparing the food and cooking it. And then this way you have a nice collection of photos that you can clean up in Photoshop or other programs and make them look nice, and then we can use those in the website. Remember, the written steps are really what's driving the website. Any sort of photography or illustrations or diagrams or graphics are meant to help visually support the written steps. So they should just be helpful and make the experience better. Now again, you could use illustrations if you want to draw things, if you want to make little diagrams, if you want to use graphics. You can certainly use things online from a variety of sources, such as stock photography sites like Unsplash or Pixabay or Pexels, ones that I've mentioned to you before. Or of course you can create your own. So you certainly want to open up a new folder and go ahead and start using this as a repository to hold all of the things you're going to need for project 2, and then you can just dump everything that you either photograph yourself or find or create in here, and then you'll have them ready to rock and roll. All right, so that is it for this week, is getting ready for project 2, doing all the prep steps, right? And once you have all those done, hang on to them. They are not due until next week. As you can see here on the syllabus, I already had them due the following week. And so the deadline for that will show up on Canvas. And of course, I'll talk about it in the next video, which will be for next week, week 10. This week, only this one announcement. I won't be putting up a second announcement because I've already covered everything we need to do this week. So you won't hear from me again until the beginning of next week, week 10. So in the meantime, have a good week. Good luck figuring out what you're going to do for this project. I'm really looking forward to what you're going to teach us. It should be a heck of a lot of fun. All right, you guys have a great day.